I will get straight to the point. It's raining. That's it. Gloomy and wet. That is the weather right now. Looking out of my studio window, here we go. We are back together again, coming to you live from the birthplace of the English language. You know where it is. We all know where it is. It is England. We are back together again, live right now on a very soggy Wednesday. The rain is coming down. It really does not feel like summer at all, to be honest. I can't believe that we are still in July. However, the weather seems to have skipped forward to November. It's a very strange day, to be honest. For many reasons, I'm also on my own as well. Not to mention the fact that I keep feeling as if I want to sneeze. In fact, I'm going to sneeze right now. Excuse me. I don't know why. I don't think I've ever started one of my live streams by sneezing. Something has really got up my nose. That's all I can say. Oh, what a strange beginning. I don't think that's ever happened before, where I've had to sneeze during the first few seconds of my live stream. But there it is. It's happening, just to prove that everything you watch right now is live. Oh my goodness. Something very strange is happening up my nose. Excuse me. I'm so glad you couldn't hear that. That was disgusting. Well, that was weird, wasn't it? Hi, everybody. This is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy? I'm even losing my voice. What's happening to me? I feel as if I'm fading away before your very eyes. My name is Duncan. I talk about the English language, and you might say that I am a fan of English, and you would be correct because I do like English very much. You might say that I am an English addict. It's good to be with you, even though something very strange is happening to my body. You know what it is. I'm at that strange age where you wake up every morning with a new ache or a new pain. Something throbs that shouldn't. And the things that are supposed to throb don't anymore. It's a sad state of affairs. That's all I can say. The live chat is open for those comments. If you want to say hello, you can right now. If you want to ask me a question, if you want to give me some support today, because I'm on my own. Mr. Steve has left me. What can I say? He's gone away with his work. Before anyone starts any rumours, he's gone to a conference a long way from here. So that's where Mr. Steve is. So I'm feeling a little bit lonely. I'm not going to be beating about the bush. I'm going to get straight to the point. I'm on my own today. I'm in the house all alone. And to be honest, I don't like the feeling. It's very strange. You know what it's like when you are used to a certain situation happening or a certain way of living, and then suddenly it changes completely. It feels strange, don't you think? So today I'm on my own, but of course I have you to keep me company for a short time. Here we are then, and we are at Wednesday, already. I don't know why, but these midweek live streams seem to come round very fast. I'm not sure why that is. Hello to the live chat. Nice to see you here as well. Vitas is here. Hello Vitas, you are first on today's live chat. Congratulations Vitas, you are first on the live chat today. We also have Beatrice, and of course he is here. Luis Mendez is here today. Hello Luis. Also we have Claudia. Hello Claudia, nice to see you here. Have you recovered from all of the activities last week surrounding your birthday? I do believe that you had quite a crazy week last week. Lots of people wanting to share your birthday with you. Also we have, who else is here? Mosen. Hello Mosen, nice to see you as well. We also have Duk Hung English. Hello to you as well. I believe you are watching in Vietnam. Also, who else is here? Chihiro. Hello, Chihiro. Chihiro says hello from NYC. I'm going to guess that that is New York City. Apparently they call it the city that never sleeps. Much Wenlock is very similar. However, they call it the town that never wakes up. Also we have Bui Hai An, who I believe is also watching in Vietnam. Hello also Jimmy. Jimmy from Hong Kong. Yes, you are right Jimmy. The Olympic Games will be starting on Friday. To be honest, you know what I'm going to say. To be honest, I don't really follow sport very much. And that includes the Olympic Games. So I'm not really into it, if I was honest with you. But yes, it is starting on Friday. Already lots of controversy over various things, not least of all the fact that some of the venues, some of the places where the competitions are going to be held are not ready yet. And some of them are not up to the standard. So that will be very interesting to see what happens with the Olympic Games starting on Friday. I believe the opening ceremony is. It's always on around my birthday. So I've always noticed that the Olympic Games, they always seem to begin or end around my birthday. What's that you say, Mr. Duncan? Did you mention your birthday? I did mention my birthday. I'm going to mention it again now. It is my birthday coming up on the 12th of August. A lot of people are excited about that, not least of all me, because we will find out what Mr. Steve has bought as a gift for me. Who else is here today? Oh, nobody else. That was easy. Chua Dang. Hello, Chua Dang. And also Franco. Franco. Rum, rum, rum. Ferrari. Nice to see you here today. That might be my new thing for you, Franco. So every time I say Franco, I will say Franco. Rum, rum, rum. Ferrari. Is that a good thing? Do you think it will catch on? I don't know. If something catches on, it means it is adopted by other people. Something that goes from one person to another can catch on. Maybe a certain type of fashion or a certain type of trend can catch on. It means lots of people start doing it because they see other people doing it as well. Hello, Maru Vargas. hello to you as well. We have Maru Vargos watching today as well. It is a strange one, really, when you think about it, during the week. I know what it's like. I understand that you do have things to do. Maybe you are busy. Maybe you have things that you have to do. My iPad is very bright. I've just realised. I don't know why my iPad is dazzling me. Let me just see if I can turn that down slightly. That's better. I don't know why. It was so bright. It was blinding me. Hello also to... Who else is here today? No, I think that's it. That's it. I've got no one else to mention. All I can do now is hope that somebody else joins the live chat so I can say hello to someone else. Otherwise, I would just have to stand here like this. No one wants that when you think about it. Today, by the way, we're looking at searching for things, looking for things. Now, in this particular situation, I'm going to be talking about searching for information, things that you want to find out. The reason why I'm mentioning it is because over the past couple of weeks, I've received a lot of messages through comments and also personal messages saying that they found me. They found my lessons and my channel on ChatGPT. As you know, that is a type of software, artificial intelligence software, which is now being used to create all sorts of things. But apparently, you can also use ChatGPT to look for things. It is also a search engine, believe it or not. So you can just ask any question and it will give you some sort of answer. How accurate the answer is, I'm not sure, but a lot of people have said, Mr. Duncan, we found your lessons, we found your channel by asking ChatGPT if they could give the name of a good English teacher on the internet. And apparently it has been suggesting me quite a lot. So I think that's lovely. It's very nice when you think about it. Isn't it lovely? So artificial intelligence is obviously very intelligent. It also has a very good taste as well in internet presenters. So that's the reason why I'm talking about that today. Who else is here? No one else is joining. I don't know why. This happened before. You know, I get very annoyed when this happens because I don't know why. I don't know why my viewership goes up to a certain level and then stays there. I find it very hard to believe that no one else is finding this live stream, unless, of course, YouTube is doing some funny business again. You know, I always go on about that because I do have my suspicions about YouTube, the way it works. That's all I'm saying. I am on my own today. I am by myself. Mr. Steve has gone away. I had to wave goodbye this morning in the pouring rain as Mr. Steve drove off in his car. And now here I am, just to prove how bad the weather is. There it is, look. It's raining. It does not feel like summertime. Now, does that look like summer to you? Does it? I don't think so. Yes, AI suggested to watch Mr. Duncan's lessons. That is very strange. The only problem is, of course, a lot of people don't trust it. They don't trust artificial intelligence. So maybe some people are seeing that and maybe they don't believe it. Maybe they distrust artificial intelligence. So we are talking about searching for things. There are many ways of doing it nowadays, especially when we are talking about certain types of information. Information is something we often need, especially when we are starting something new. Maybe you are studying a certain subject. Maybe something you want to find out more about generally. And it is very easy to do that sort of thing nowadays. You can find things very easily. Farry Boors, hello. Hello, of course ChatGPT loves you. It is in the air. Is it really? Thank you very much for that. It's very kind of you. I might even get one of those beautiful little love hearts floating up at the side of the screen. Like that. Go on, press the button. You can. Press the little heart button and the little heart will go up at the side. Charazed C is here. Hello to you as well. I don't know why I seem a little bit distracted today, and that's because I am. I am distracted. It's very strange because Steve has gone away, and I know that he's going to be away all today and all tonight, and he won't be back till tomorrow evening. So it does feel very, very strange. Hello everyone, says hello everyone. That's very kind of you to say that. So I am here in my little studio in Much Wenlock on a very, very wet day. The rain is coming down and it really is wet, to be honest with you. In a moment we are looking at today's subject, which is searching. Searching for information, searching for news, searching for gossip, or perhaps searching for love. Can you find love on the internet? Maybe.
a big boy now.
There's no answer to that, really, when you think about it. I still remember the day we did that. I still remember the day we recorded that particular segment where I was playing in Much Wenlock. Some people were looking very bemused at me. It is a miserable day, but don't worry because I'm here to make everything much nicer. Maybe. Who knows? Farry Bores, it's nice to see you here today. The weather is bad, but in the studio it's lovely and cosy, even though I'm feeling all alone because Mr. Steve has gone away. It's a very weird one today. Did you see what happened at the start of today's live stream? Something very strange happened. My body did something really weird. I suddenly started sneezing. I lost control of my body for a few moments. Today we are looking at searching, looking for things, because it would appear that a lot of people have been searching, generally searching. So if you look for something, you can look for something generally, or you can look for something specific. General means a general subject, something that is not located in one place, or maybe something that refers to more than one thing. General. However, you might look for something that is specific. A specific thing is one certain item or one certain thing, a certain subject, for example. We can say that that thing is specific. You are looking for one thing. And that is quite often the reason why people search. They might search the internet. They might go to the local library. Does anyone still go to the library? We have a big library here in Much Wenlock. And every time I go past, it's always empty. There's never anyone in there. Lots of books, lots of information, but no people searching for anything in there, to be honest with you. So it is very strange when you go past places like libraries and there is no one actually in there. So when you search for something, you can search for one particular thing, or maybe you search for something generally. For example, you might be looking for someone to teach English, or maybe you're looking for someone who can help you improve your English. So you might search for English teacher on YouTube or on the internet, and then you will get some results. You will get some answers. Quite often when you look for something, you might seek something. You search for something. You look for something. You might hunt something. Now that might seem like a very strange word to use, the word hunt. But if you are looking for something, searching for something, we can also use the word hunt as well. I know it sounds very aggressive and wild if you are hunting for something. Quite often we use the word hunt if we are desperate for information. Maybe you need something in a hurry or something urgently. You will say that you will hunt that thing down, or you will look for it. You hunt for something. Maybe you try to track down something. So you are following information. When we say that you track down something, we are saying that you are following for a certain type of thing. You are looking for something. You are using information to lead you on a certain path. So maybe you track down something. So of course most of these things can be used figuratively or literally. So you can literally seek something. You can look for something literally by walking around. You can hunt something. Of course, you might be looking for something that you've lost. You hunt something. Maybe you are chasing a wild animal through a forest. You are hunting for that particular thing. To track down something, again, you are following information or maybe clues to find a particular thing. Then we have research. Quite often, if you are studying something or if you are looking for information concerning a certain thing, then you will research that thing. I always find the word research quite interesting because you are looking at something that you've looked at before. However, I always think that research quite often is when you are looking for something that you've never looked at before. So you are going deeper into a certain subject. You are looking closely at a certain subject or a certain field. You try to find out something. So maybe you try to find out some information. You find out about a certain thing. You might already have some information about a certain subject, but you want to learn more about it. So you decide to go deeper into that subject. You want to know more about that subject. You need more information. So you will go deeper into that subject. It is common nowadays for us to look on the internet to search for things generally, but sometimes you might want to find out more about a certain subject. You want to go deeper into that subject. Another word, and perhaps this is a new word for you, the word delve. Delve means to go deep into something. You delve into it. Imagine your hands going into something, trying to find something or search for something. You delve into something. So I suppose you could use that literally or figuratively. So if you want to find out more about a certain subject, you will delve into that subject. And of course, you can dig. We often use this word figuratively if you are digging for information. So this doesn't mean that you are actually digging a hole. It means you are just looking, you are searching. Maybe you have to search for a very long time. You have to look very carefully or closely for something. You dig into a certain subject. You go deep into that subject. And it can happen quite often, especially when you are searching on the internet. You can start off in one place looking for something, and then suddenly you are somewhere else and you are finding out new things about that particular subject. So it is possible for that to happen. A point of reference is often needed so as to correctly find what you are looking for. So normally, when we are searching for something, there has to be a point of reference, something to help us find what we're looking for. And that is the reason why whenever you search for something, the first thing you have to do is put in a point of reference, whatever it is. It can be anything really, maybe a word, a phrase, a place, an object. Quite often we will look at these points of reference in different ways. For example, an object is something that exists or maybe something that is a fact. So the object would be something that exists, maybe a piece of information, a certain fact. And then, of course, we might have a certain subject, which, of course, can be a type of topic. So topics can be anything. I'm sure you can think of at least 5 topics straight away that you could search for. English, learning English, how to learn English, where to go on the internet if you want to learn English. So there are many types of topic. Maybe you want to look at other people's opinions of certain things. So topics are normally referred to as subjects, a certain thing that people are discussing. Science, art, music, politics. No, don't worry. I'm staying well away from that. And of course, you might have a point as well. You might look for a certain opinion or a certain statement. So something that a person has said or something that a person has written about. It can also be an article as well. So a lot of people like to read what other people think. I remember many years ago, when the blog was the main thing that people did. Before videos and before podcasts, there was the written blog that a lot of people would do. I know some people still do it, but these days people like to watch videos or listen to a person talking rather than just read endless paragraphs of text. So you might find that certain statements, certain opinions, especially here on YouTube, because if there is one thing I've noticed over the past few years being here on YouTube, more and more people are willing to express their opinions about things. And of course, when you express your opinion, quite often there will be someone who will disagree with what you're saying. So you might create a situation where debate takes place. So something you are looking for can be a fact, or maybe a subject, or maybe just a statement. You might want to find out what your favourite YouTube personality thinks of the latest movie that's just come out. What do they think about it? You might search on YouTube or on the internet generally. We often use searches. For example, a category search will make looking for something much easier. Again, as I mentioned a few moments ago, there are many different categories. So when we talk about categories, we are talking about groups of subjects, information that relates to one particular thing or one particular subject. Maybe the subject or the category could be places. Maybe a place you want to visit. Maybe you want to get some information about a certain place before you visit that place. One of the wonderful things I love about using the internet nowadays is before you travel to a certain place, you can find out all about that location. Not only that, you can also go there virtually by using Google. So you can go to the actual place, even though you are not there physically. You can actually walk around, you can look around using online software such as Google Earth. It's very useful. It's a very good way of familiarizing yourself with a certain place before you go there. So that is something I use quite often now if I'm about to travel to a place I don't know. In fact, I used it a few weeks ago before I went to Italy. So that's the reason why when I arrived in Italy, I was able to find my way around, especially in Rome. It was very easy getting around because I had already been there on Google Street Maps. So I knew the directions. I knew where to go to get to certain places. So I have to say, it is very useful searching for information. It is amazing what you can find out. Beatrice is going. I'm sorry, I have to go now. I will watch the rest of the class later. Have a good afternoon, Beatrice. I hope I will see you later. Some very interesting messages coming through on the live chat. Thank you very much. I will read them later. Some people think I don't read them, but I do. I love looking at the live chat. But sometimes I can't answer all of the comments. Maybe there is something happening in the future. Maybe there is a special event coming up. A lot of people at the moment are searching for information about the Olympic Games, which is coming up at the end of this week. Maybe a certain subject. You are searching for a particular subject. Maybe the relevance of something. How important is that information? So you might say that there are things that you need to know, there are things that you must know, and there are things that you don't really need to know. So how important is a particular subject? What do you need to know? For example, if you are starting to learn English, you will need to know the most important things to remember. So the relevance of something is the importance of it. Maybe we can put the type of thing. The type of thing relates to the other things involved with that particular subject. The type of information you are looking for. And of course, dates. I always find that dates are very important if you are looking for information. Maybe you need to look at the records of a certain type of event or a thing that took place. Or maybe, of course, you are trying to find out when something will happen. So you need to search for the dates when those things will happen. It is possible to find one search entry, or it is possible to find that one search entry leads to other subjects. And I've done this quite often at night. Sometimes I will search for something on the internet, maybe a subject, or maybe something I've heard and I want to find out more about. And then 2 hours later, I'm still searching, I'm still looking, because there is so much information to take in. So sometimes you can spend a lot of time searching for things, but also you can find a lot of information about certain subjects. And then suddenly you have all this information coming at you. So it is possible to find one search entry leads to other subjects. So you might start searching for one thing and then it will lead to other things as well. However, this can be distracting. It can take up a lot of your time and a lot of your concentration. So you might start off searching for something very simple, but then it leads to other searches or more information. So I know it's happened to me, and I'm sure it's happened to you, where you've started looking for something on the internet and then suddenly you end up looking at all sorts of other things. One thing leads to another. The deeper you explore a subject, the more information you must absorb. And this is true. So when you start looking for information, you might find that you need to absorb more and more stuff. It's quite exhausting, to be honest. It is quite exhausting. Sometimes a simple search might lead you down a rabbit hole. And this is an expression that a lot of people use nowadays. They often say that when they look for something on the internet, they eventually go down a rabbit hole, which of course is a reference to Alice in Wonderland, where Alice goes down the rabbit hole. She follows the white rabbit and then ends up in a very strange place. So that is what that particular phrase means. If you go down a rabbit hole on the internet, it means you start searching for something and then eventually you end up going down a very deep hole. Quite often you find things that you were not expecting, or maybe things that are unusual or strange. So it is possible to go down a rabbit hole as you go deeper and deeper into a certain subject or topic. You get deeper and deeper into that subject. We often describe it as going down a rabbit hole. It's a great expression. Popular searches for topics include people. When we say people, of course, we mean famous people. Quite often, celebrities. You want to find out the latest news about your favourite celebrity. No, not me. I'm not talking about me. Events. Things that are going to happen. Things that are coming up. Maybe a concert. Maybe you want to find out where your favourite singer will be performing next. Maybe you want to go to a show. Maybe you want to see something. You might want to plan a trip somewhere. You want to find out when something is happening so you can go there. Nature. I think the internet is a brilliant place for finding out information about the world around us, including nature. Maybe you are thinking of taking up a new hobby. Maybe there is something that you've always wanted to try and do. You can find out what you need to do that particular thing. You can find the information simply by searching for it. Trivia. Now here is an interesting word that we often use when we are talking about facts that are unimportant but are still interesting. So a certain type of information or a piece of information that is not important but it is interesting. A little piece of information about a certain thing might not be important but it can be interesting to know. And of course, news, the big thing that everyone searches for. A lot of people use the internet nowadays to find out about what is happening in the world, what is happening in certain places, maybe overseas or in your own country. So the news. And of course, when we talk about news, we are also talking about current events. Things that are happening right now are often referred to as current events. These days it is hard to judge what information is reliable and what is false. That is the big one. The thing that a lot of people worry about these days is how accurate is the information. When you read something on the internet, how true is it? Even if that information comes up when you search for it, is it reliable? Is it trustworthy? Can you believe it? Now, yesterday I don't know if you know about this, I'm not sure, but yesterday on Twitter, I know what you're going to say, Mr. Duncan, it's X now. They don't call it Twitter anymore, it's X. Well, I still call it Twitter, and I think most people still call it Twitter. But yesterday there was a strange rumour going around about an ex-president of the United States and whether or not he was still alive. But that started with someone posting that thing on the internet, and then other people shared the information. So sometimes it can happen where you find information, you might even search for it, but unfortunately that information turns out to be false or fake. Information is often verified for factual accuracy. So when we describe something as verified, it means it has been checked. So maybe if you hear some news about a certain thing, you might want to check with other people. Or maybe you try to find the source of the information. Where did that information actually come from originally? So you try to verify something to make sure that it is real. And it is much harder nowadays to verify information. It is much harder to find out where it comes from. What about you? Where do you normally get your information from? I like to look around in different places. I like to look on the internet. I like to search on certain websites. I like to look at the TV news. However, I don't watch one channel. I often watch different channels. So what about you? If you need information about something, maybe you need it quickly. Maybe there is something you've always wanted to know. I often search for people. If I watch an old movie, maybe I watch an old movie from 50, 60 years ago. Sometimes I become interested with the people who are in the movie. And so I might go on the internet to find out if that person did anything else. Maybe they appeared in other movies. And of course, the most important one, are they still alive? So I do find that quite interesting. I can spend a long time searching for people who've appeared in movies that I've watched. And I always find it interesting to search for them and to find out what they've done, how old they are now. And of course, if they are still alive, if they are still with us. So I think these days a lot of people do search the internet, even though I think there is a lot of distrust these days amongst people. People don't tend to trust what they see or read as much as they used to. Popular sources of information. Well, we often think of the internet. You might have a web search engine. Google is probably the most popular of all of them. And of course, Google are the owners of this, the thing you are watching now. So my face is flickering on a website owned by Google. And they are incredibly popular. Of course, there are other search engines as well. So not only Google, but also other search engines as well. Yahoo also have their own search engine called, what is it called? I think it's just called Yahoo Search, isn't it? And then, of course, Microsoft have their own search engine as well called Bing. Although I don't think I've ever used Bing, ever. I've never used it. So normally if I look for information, quite often I will use either Yahoo, or Google. They are the places that I normally go to. Of course, there are what we call wiki pages where information is shared and released. I suppose most people think of Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a website that's been around for many years. Lots of information. It is all information that is put there by people around the world. Some of it sometimes is false, but for most of the time it is, I would say it's about 90% accurate. And I used to actually edit on Wikipedia. I used to do short edits on Wikipedia. The only problem is it takes a very long time to do it. So I gave up in the end. I stopped doing it. But I used to quite enjoy editing on Wikipedia. It used to be quite good. Of course, newspapers, people buy newspapers. Maybe they go to buy the local newspaper, and that's how they get their information. Although these days, fewer and fewer people are now reading newspapers. In fact, in the UK, very few people buy newspapers. Most of it now is on the internet. And then, of course, the place where many people get their information from is social media. As I said a few moments ago, social media. Very busy on the live chat. Thank you very much for all of your lovely messages today, by the way. So however you get your information, however you receive your information, however it is received by you, or of course, however it is given. Sometimes it is better to try and verify the information to make sure that it is true and real. So I think that is one of the dangers, that is one of the problems these days of looking for information. Sometimes it can be real or true, and sometimes it can be... I don't want to use the word fake, but it might be misleading. It might take you in the wrong direction. I will be going in a moment. I'm going to have something to eat, and then I'm going to think about what I'm going to do for the rest of the day, because there's no Mr. Steve. I know what I'll do. I'm going to make a new lesson. Is that a good idea? Okay, I will do that then. Thank you very much for watching. It's a very quiet live stream today. I've had quite a few messages come through, and then suddenly everything stopped, which is always worrying, because then my mind starts to think, is anyone actually watching, or are they just running the live stream in an empty room? It's never good when no one says anything on the live chat. Thank you very much for your company. I will see you on Sunday. Mr. Steve will be back with us on Sunday, by the way. I hope you can join us if you can. Or at least leave the live stream running in the corner of a room in your house, which might be happening today. See you soon. Take care of yourself. Thank you for watching. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English, saying thank you for joining me today on this very wet and, dare I say, dismal day. And the weather wasn't very good either. And of course, until the next time we meet, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now. See you on Sunday, I hope.